Okay. What are we chatting about tonight?
Oh,
Hey,
just about anything we want to.
Right.
All right, sounds good.
Hey, Bill?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me. I'm out in public. It's really noisy. But last week you mentioned a woman's name on Facebook who had hired a lawyer in Massachusetts. Can you give me her name? I can't find that on Facebook.
I'm gonna have to go look it up. I don't remember the thing. But I think the attorney's name was Moreau, Moro.
Yeah, but yeah, I found his.
Find it. Yeah.
I want to know her name actually, and on Facebook and find out the details about the case. If she, it was Carolyn somebody, but I couldn't find it. I found his law firm in Massachusetts, but not her.
Okay.
I couldn't find her.
Yeah, I like to write down all stuff that I want to ask people and certain stuff, and then I call. That way I'm not scrambling and not knowing what to ask them. So I like to write stuff down that I need to, questions that I have, or stuff like that. And then I'll call, and then I don't sound like just some person that doesn't know what they're talking about. But yeah, let me. That's in a different notebook. Let me find it. Yes. All right, give me a minute. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, when it comes to, I should be starting a sentence with that. When it comes to coming up with a legal front, we have a gentleman, Spencer Carter, who is coming up with a class action suit. And my feelings on that are great. Let's have a class action suit. We have to research who our targets are. You cannot have a class action suit against an infamous attacker. You have to have your target laced up and ready to can. So my idea, I think I've said it before, was take these patents that we have. I have 22. I know there are a lot more floating down. Get the inventors' names, start with the inventors, and then work our way back until we come to the grantors. Now, I have seen blatantly on one of these patents that the Air Force claims to have been the person who wanted this work done or who purchased the patent. But Google seems to be the sole owner of many of these patents, and that might be Google saying to the world, okay, you're not going to do this without the people knowing about it. So, I mean, they own and access a lot of these patents. They put them out there so that we can research them, and I think that's fantastic. Because otherwise you have hours and hours of work at the patent office website, which is arduous. I've done it before, but let's work on these inventors. I'm going to make the link to all 22 available tonight so that you can work with them.
Yeah, Frank, if you need somebody to help you look up the numbers or anything, definitely give me a call, and I could do that for you.
Certainly, I'll make the link available. Maybe each could take one patent and take it apart, because each patent has within it many links to many other patents and revisions, updates, other people involved, other inventors. It's really in depth. We have to narrow it down to one group who appears on all of them. And that's where I would start with class action. Go after this person and say, okay, you invented this device that kills. We don't like that. We need to know who you sold it to. Who did you develop it for? So there's a lot of questions that have to be asked prior to a class action suit.
I'm sorry, Frank. Who's that woman that asked me the information?
Joan in Rhode Island, Newport, Rhode Island.
Joan, do you want me to send this to you, or do you, what exactly do you?
Yeah, you can if you'd like. Can you hear? I know I'm in a public place, but can you hear me? I can give you an email link to send it to. Okay.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. It's D as in David, E as in Edward, A as in Apple, S as in Sam, Y as in yellow, the number 4, and the number 2 at gmail.com. I'd appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll send that to you right now.
All right, thanks a lot, Bill.
Yep.
Does anyone else have any ideas on how to proceed? Do we have a legal presence within the audience this evening? Do we have an attorney? Do we have anyone? Because I would like to I have an attorney that I went to school with since high school, and he has represented one target before, years and years ago. Unfortunately, the target did not survive long enough to make it through to court because she was very sickly to begin with. But we need to educate an attorney. This is phase 2 now, after you come up with a class action suit target. You need to educate these attorneys on what exactly this stuff is, how they're using it, where they're using it, all the particulars, and right down to details, because once you get in court, someone is going to try and take us apart. And that's what they do. And they'll have the best attorneys around. So we have to be ready for that. We have to have the answer to every question you can possibly think of concerning this, I will call it phenomenon, since it is something that's actually happening that no one can see, which is the bad part. That's where we get hurt in court. No one can see it. We now have the weapons. We now know who's making the weapons or who's building them. Now we just have to put the weapon in someone's hand. That's the next operation. But we have to train an attorney, and he'll want to learn. I mean, if he's going to handle a case of this magnitude, which is going to end up in thousands of people, he will be hiring a team. They will be on the books learning this stuff inside and out. And when that happens, I'm sure Spencer or whoever is heading up the team will want answers to certain questions. And I'm sure you will probably all get calls on this. But one thing also that you should be doing, when there is a class action suit, there are a lot of people trying to hop on board. So what you want to do as targets, you want to establish a foundation so that when it comes time to go to court for this class action suit, you are definitely a part, and you have been a part of it for years. And one way to do that is simply writing letters. Not only is it good for your foundation, it is good for the community. Kate continually is behind letter writing campaigns. Julianne McKinney is behind letter writing campaigns. There are so many people that we need to all get in touch with and stay in touch with and get on these letter writing campaigns. And Karen Stewart's, Catherine Horton's project is another one that has to be pushed. And unfortunately for me, my hands are very tied at this point in time. There's not too much more I can take on my plate because last night I was up till 3:30, quarter of 4, just talking to people and finalizing this and finalizing that. And it's a lot of work, but I love doing it for us. And we will get there together. And this will stop everywhere. I promise you that. I've seen, oh God, 100% increase in our progress in the past 2 years or so. With the addition of Magnus Olson and what his contributions have been, he has an electronic device that he is sending out into the field, and certain individuals are testing it. Dr. Robert Duncan has a device that he is actually, I'm not sure what the procedure is. I have to talk with him, but I believe you give him a $200 deposit, he will send it to you and you can evaluate it. If it does the job, I think then there will probably be more money involved. Maybe, maybe not. I have to get the particulars. But for those of you who didn't hear it, that's Dr. Robert Duncan. You can see him on Facebook, befriend him, and you can send him PMs and just tell him you want to be on the list. But like I said,
Frank?
yeah, go ahead.
Is Dr. Duncan's prototype just for V2K?
I would say he is, yes, he leans more towards the electronic end of it, remote neural monitoring, which is the worst out of all of them. And
Because I don't have V2K, but I do get a lot of the R&M. I actually got quite a bit of it today.
Right.
And I was just wondering if it would be worth reaching out to him because I don't have V2K.
Yes, I will tell you why, because we all come together and we don't know what stage. So we have to get down to stages. Now, there are many people who have broken this down into 4 stages, some 6 stages, but we have to know where everybody is. You might be in the beginning. You might be near the end. We have to be able to put this, be able to identify where an individual is in this particular program. And there is a program that is getting kind of old, but it is on Vimeo. It is called The Program. Now, it takes into account gang stalking and the electronic end of it. And it's a very well put together video. And like I say, the name of it is The Program, and it is on Vimeo. It might have migrated to YouTube at this point in time, but I am not sure about that. That is something we'll have to research.
Joni, is your last name Challoner?
Excuse me?
Yeah, I was just about to Joni. Is your last name Challoner?
No.
Yeah. Because Challoner? No. I was just reading the comments underneath that, and Joni Challoner said, "Great. Why do you have this impression?" I don't know.
I'm sorry. Frank was speaking, so.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Is this Bill? I mean, can you?
Yeah. Yes, it is. I just picked up the phone. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Frank. Go ahead.
But what do you want to know, Bill?
Oh no, because I was trying to send it to you, and I was looking at the comments underneath it, and it said, "Joni Challenor, great. Why do you have this impression?"
You mean the chat line? The chat? Are you looking at chat?
Yeah. No, it was that the thing with the attorney there. It was on one of the posts that I'm on Facebook, and the girl's name was Karen Lynn Morris. She put out to all the targeted individuals. There's an attorney, Brian J. Moore, that works for the Commonwealth Mediation Boston. He's our guy to stop the harassment, destruction of property, tracking and monitoring at DHS practices involving blacklisting, NSA profiling, and USA On Watch orgs, discrimination, organized crime, community gang stalking. Somebody, Joni Challenor, was just had a couple things, comments underneath this, and would it just
be easier
if I, yeah, okay, no problem.
If you could, but I could barely hear you, but it's kind of cracked up, and I'm in a loudy environment, but if you can send me the name of that person on Facebook, if it's not closed, if I could see that information. My name is Joan, though, but I'm not on there.
Okay.
I don't have a Facebook page. Wait, maybe I do have a Facebook address, but yeah, no, that's not me. So if you can send me the name of that person so I can see that information. So I contacted the law firm anyway. There's two super lawyers that were voted super lawyers in 2016 on that with that law firm. I did check the law firm, but I want to know what they are. Yeah, what the legal case is about. Yeah. I heard you a little bit, but like I said, I apologize. I'm in a loud environment. But if you can send me her webpage so I can look up if they're doing the electronic surveillance thing cases also, because that's where honestly that's where this is nonsense. I need legal help to stop this. Probably everyone else says I think that's the way to go to immediately stop this. So
yeah,
you track the Dibble law firm? Have you sent your information to the Dibble law firm?
No, I've heard some people say negative things about him. He is in New York. Right. But I am open to him too. But I heard this other one in Massachusetts. I live in Rhode Island, so that I need to make sure that it's in federal court, I believe, to be able to prosecute this. Although I have cases, incidences in Massachusetts also. So I do have incidences that have occurred in Massachusetts. So they will be in corporations that are involved. So.
Well, I would suggest that you send information to Attorney Dibble because the firm there is wanting information and to hear from all targeted individuals because they're taking videos, documents, anything you can send to them. I think they may be looking at class action. So perhaps you could send it to both attorneys. And I had a question too after I also tell everyone that Dr. Duncan is right now studying people with V2K. This is to prove that this is happening as much as anything else. But then later in the year, he had said that he would be doing a study on people with other types of harassment and targeting. But right now, he's concentrating on the V2K. And I wanted to ask, where is the park in Washington where the lobbyists take place?
You mean the rally or the demonstration is May 24th?
And what is the location? That's what I need to know.
Okay, Frank is on the line. Is running this call, so he'll let you give the information. Frank,
Okay.
Ellen,
Yes, I'm here.
he's running the show. Yeah, can you tell her the actual location?
Certainly. There are actually 2 locations. One will be a free moving demonstration in front of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, which is the White House. The other will be at Lafayette Park, and that will be a stationary location where we will be speaking. Now, Karen Stewart is coming to speak. Ella Free is coming to speak. And I encourage everyone who would like to speak, all activists that would like to speak, even if they fly in or drive in just for the day, just to speak. It would be great. We have to make a presence. We have to make a known presence. We have to show what this is all about. And next year at this time, there will be yet another demonstration. And this time I will be starting on the 29th, working on next year. And I want to see as many people as they had when Mr. Trump first took office and the women had a protest. And that's what I would like to see next year. This year is going to be a really great turnout.
Great.
I would also, I'd like to say, I don't know, I'm probably annoying everybody. This is Joan from Newport, Rhode Island, but I'm in a noisy place. But I would also like to say that if anybody has access to the internet and can contact these big organizations that have been protesting, like the National Women's NWO, the National Women's Organizations and stuff like that, if they can get on board, you know, I mean, there's so many protests around the country. If we could piggyback on them, I'm sure if we got the word out, but they are shutting my community. I can't even Twitter to the Pope. I tried to I sent a Twitter to the Pope the other day about what has been going on, this domestic terrorism and being assaulted in homes with these new weapons, and that didn't even get to the Pope. So right now I have my voice in this cheap cell phone. So anyway, that's it.
And I would suggest everyone invite their senators and congresspeople. I invited mine. I went to the open door meeting and handed over some documents to his staff. Certainly invited them.
Yeah, I just wanted to caution everybody. I know that Bill asked Joan, is this you that did this? Well, there are like a whole bunch of us who are going to come to Washington with anonymous masks on. So you have to be careful about last names. So some people may not want their last name known. Now, I don't care. My name is everywhere. You can spread it everywhere you want to.
I actually just thought of that as I was, looking, talking to her on that. I just thinking the same exact thing, Frank.
Hold on. I'm going to mute myself for a second. It's Linda. Hold on.
So my email, I just want to say my Gmail account, that DZJ, is not my real name. So I go by Joan on these calls, but I understand why everyone would not give their real names. I would say at this point, you don't have to give last names either. I think that's a good idea.
And everyone, don't forget to put a hardbound logbook, which will be very necessary in any kind of a lawsuit. And number the pages, like Dr. Horton was showing us on YouTube. Very important to log down, highlight each day of what's being done to you, etc.
Oh, when it comes to a lawsuit, I'm definitely going to have my name on it. Actually, in a way, with my name, it can go both ways, but it may be protection.
But hello, hi. My name is Rochelle. Can anybody hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Rochelle.
Hi, guys. I'm just joining you a little late, so I'm just listening in to catch up. Um, and I know everyone has, you have to do what's most comfortable for you. But at this point, unfortunately, they know everything about us. They know when we go to the bathroom. They know what we're talking about. So at this point, just personally, I feel that there's nothing more that you can hide. You can't hide from them with this type of weaponry. And that's the unfortunate thing. So you have to do what's most comfortable for you. And I know, most people are a little bit hesitant about certain things because you think that you're not gonna that you're able to keep something hidden from them. But unfortunately, I think we're just past that, trying to keep some form of privacy. They know what we're talking about right now. So that's why I've decided at a certain point that I just want to, give support to all different routes as much as possible. And I've decided to attach my name. And like you said, and there might be hopefully a lawsuit coming, and I don't want any issues in trying to prove that it's been me all of these years for all the suffering that we've endured thus far. But at this point, there's nothing that can be hidden from them. That's just how I see it personally. They see us. They know when we're going to the bed. They track us. So, and what we talk about, and they're a part of these conversations. They have us bugged. So unfortunately, that's what this whole thing has been about: an invasion of our privacy, which is illegal.
Right.
Hey, Rochelle, I was going to say that some high-profile people who want to come to the march, they need to wear the mask because of their job.
I understand. Yes.
They have to wear masks because they don't want to be identified because they're high-profile. So I know that's why some people wanted to wear those masks.
Hi.
Yes, I'm new to all of this, so there's a lot that I still have to learn and understand. That's why I call in also. Like, I went the route like most people. I thought that I never knew that it was on this such a large scale. So I thought when mine started that it was an individual thing and that it eventually, end on its own, or I could find a remedy for it. So I'm just, within this past few months connecting to a group, to connecting to everyone and getting to know everyone. I've gotten to know Ella and Karen Stewart and Derek and so forth. Because I came to realize that this is bigger than any single one of us, and so you have to unite at some point. To be able to attack it on a larger scale as well as individually. We still need to go our individual routes, of course, too, but there's a definite need to attack this thing with as many voices as possible at one time. That's why I totally believe in this tsunami campaign, and I'm still doing some things on my own. And for whoever spoke in reference to Attorney Dibble's office, I agree. Attorney Dibble has taken on, and he's known as a super attorney, and I think to have him attach himself to us, because when most people are turning away from us, is a definite blessing, and he's not charging us for his level of expertise. And he's done the research. He's familiar with the weaponry, so so we don't have to go through the steps of trying to convince an attorney that doesn't know anything about this topic. So I'm making use of his office. I send videos, and I've been in connection with Frank and Ella and Karen, that thus far, and I'm getting pictures of something that's visible to show what they're capable of. Because of course, the other attacks you can't see it, but I'm showing what can be proven. And to have low-flying helicopters following me, low-flying aircraft following me, the harassment by EMT, the police. That's what I'm videotaping, and to up to date and counting, I have, and this is just the most convincing ones for X number of months, for close to 2 years since I've been off from work, and I have more time to do this, to devote to this. Close to just around 400 short videos, and he has documented. He has all of them, copies of all of them, and that's what I've been submitting to Attorney Dibble's office.
Is that Dibble and Miller?
That's Attorney Dibble, D-I-B-B-L-E, D as in David, I-B-B-L-E.
Yep.
He's out of New York, and frankly,
Is that Rochester, New York?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And it's Dibble
He's
and Miller?
such a blessing, you know. Like I said, he's known as a super attorney. He's got a staff of 40, I think it was, and then 11 attorneys that work under him in his office. So they're not some rinky-dink outfit. And to have him to want to connect to us and free of charge is a miracle.
Thank you so much, Michelle.
He's on YouTube.
He was on Ella's podcast. He was also on Ella's podcast. If someone wants to familiarize themselves with him and his capabilities, go to Ella Free, and she has all of her podcast shows documented on her website. And you can find his there. You can find his interview there. And I'm sure you'll be quite impressed because I have.
You have your chicken. Yeah. I know. Now you have your chicken. Your chicken's over there. You want to go outside? Okay, come on. Let's go outside. Come on, you want to go outside? Yeah. Woo.
Linda, where's the
baby.
chicken?
I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Linda, where's the chicken?
Yes.
It's all right.
Loud and clear. Too loud.
Hey, Rochelle.
Yes. Hi.
Since you're just learning, here's something very interesting. It's almost 4 hours, but it's entitled "How Secret Government Works." How the Secret Government Works, and it's by Dr. Stephen Greer, G-R-E-E-R, and he goes into all sorts of interesting documents that are classified, free energy, Tesla. It's a lot of history and a lot of things you'll find most.
You were breaking up a little, so I was getting some of it, and I'm sorry I missed it. I don't know what happened with that connection. Come on.
Okay, YouTube. It's on YouTube, and the title is "How the Secret Government Works."
Yes.
And she is the one who briefed Costanza and all the presidents who would go along with the dark closed access project. His name is Dr. Stephen, S-T-E-V-E-N.
Okay,
Greer.
yes.
C-R-E-R.
Okay, spell the last name again. I'm sorry.
R-E-E-R.
R-E-E-R. Okay, got it.
Very informative.
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Yes, I tell you, there's just so much that we've all, at least I have. This is a whole new world for me and everyone else, I'm sure. And just to know that this type of technology exists is just unbelievable to me. Who would think that, that some nutcase would come up with trying to microwave and implant people and all of these crazy, outlandish things,
Thank you, Michelle.
Time out.
Old
I will, I will say that I would like to comment on the technology that this has been out there. I don't really think that it's going to be a shock to the people who have made this, or the government, or the local police, or law enforcement, that this technology is out there, whether it's privatized now or the contractors, because I know when they hit me, it's targeted to certain body areas in my house, in the car. So, I mean, it is directed, whether they in my car, out in public. So I don't really think that this is why I do believe some people can make them themselves. I don't think it's going to be a big shock to the government or anybody or the law enforcement that these are in use. I don't, because they're otherwise they would burn you in the eye instead of burning you above the eye, and that's not happening, unfortunately.
they want to make it so it looks natural, like a natural death, that
This is why they
that's,
call it no-touch torture.
yeah.
When I write to the FBI in Boston, that's what I call it.
Can I have
Go ahead.
Oh, Frank.
Yes.
Hi, this is Kim again. I just want to let you guys know you might be interested in this. It's right the day after the Washington, D.C. protest on May 25th, there's going to be held the Secretary's Advisory Committee on Human Research Protection that's going to be in Rockville, Maryland. How far is that from Washington, D.C.? Is that close?
Yeah, it's close.
Very close.
Rockville, Maryland, and it's the day after the Washington, D.C. protest, so I'm thinking that might be a good thing to go to for everyone who's in Washington, D.C.
The 26th?
I'll say it again.
The
It's the
26th?
25th. The 25.
Okay,
25th,
great.
25. Secretary's Advisory Committee on Human Research Protection in Rockville, Maryland on May 25th, the day after the Washington, D.C. protest. That might be a good thing for everyone to go to right after the protest.
Great. Can you make that information available to me? Text it to me or
Okay.
email it?
I'll text it to you right now.
Okay, great. I appreciate it.
If I could just chime in here, Frank, do you have a set price on how much Washington will be?
A set price? No,
Yeah,
I don't.
like
It's going to
roughly,
be, as far as the rooms go, for everybody, the rooms are going to be they start at $59 a night, and it's gone up, let me see, probably $8 to $10 in a day as you get closer to the date. So anybody who is going should book their room now. And it's the Red Roof Inn in Laurel, Delaware. I can post the address or call out the address if no one knows where it is, or give you the phone number, whatever the case may be.
Frank, hi, it's Rochelle. Do they give a group rate? Hi. Would they give a group rate to reduce it even more? We kind of looked at prices before, but I never went as far as wondering if there's a group rate. If there's enough of us, they might even reduce it even more sometimes, under a group rate.
Yep, I got to see. I got to get back in contact with the desk and find out who's hit it so far, and that's when I will present that.
Okay. The other question I have is paraphernalia while we're there. It'll be kind of awkward to try to bring it individually. Is there's I would hope maybe a place that we can do some signs or something visible, because something big enough to be seen. I don't know if we want to go that route or if there's going to be anything passed out like pamphlets or informational, things that can be given to, passerbys, or what else is involved, if anything, as far as getting information out once we're there.
The only
Are we going to
thing
be doing
that I
signs?
have to get is the size. I know there is a regulation on the size. It escapes me at the moment, but I will get it. And any signs that are procured should be done so naturally before we go, because I think you'll be rushed, and probably the sign won't look quite as nice as you want it to. As far as pamphlets, that's up in the air for anyone who wants to do it. If Lonnie is on the call, Lonnie was interested in doing it. Derek has some pamphlets, I believe, from another Washington trip. And if I don't see some activity that way, I will have some time to work probably some ideas into it. And I will throw them at you to see what you think. But
one last thing.
Go ahead.
What kind of uniform are we going to have? Because I know Derek was talking about T-shirts or had some T-shirts and just to look like we are kind of united. You know what I mean? As an organization, it would be nice, I think, to have either a certain color, T-shirts or something to make us look like an organized group.
That's a good idea. Now, at this point in time, if you want to purchase a T-shirt from Derek, he has them. I'm not sure what sizes that he has, what sizes he has available, whether he can reorder and get them very quickly, but he has them for $20 a piece.
Yeah.
That would definitely
I
show.
spoke with him. Yeah, I spoke with him. I'm going to get one, but I was thinking if, only one person or two people to have it doesn't look as organized. I was hoping that maybe everybody or if there's something that everybody can do, to look like an organized group. I don't know if anybody agrees with that or not, but I'm going to get one of his T-shirts. And if more people buy it, are getting them to wear, then great. But that's all I'm trying to see if there's a way that we could look, because right now we have such a stigma attached to us.
Yeah, Michelle, we have to. I'll see if there's a silkscreen shop around here that does them, and what prices they charge, and kick around what you
Frank?
want. Yes.
Terry from Oregon has set up with someone to make T-shirts for any TI that's interested at a pretty good price.
Okay.
If you want to look into what, I know it's on the West Coast, so I don't know how quickly they could get here, but Terry did set up supposedly a good deal for the TIs with this T-shirt shop.
Okay, great. Well, we need to think of something to go on ASAP so we can all wear them while we're in Washington, hopefully.
Well, that's great. Well, we'll research that. And these are all very good ideas. What you need to do is get them to me. I just got this text from Kim, and that's amazing. Secretary's Advisory Committee on Human Research Protection is actually being held on the same day that we're there. And that's like Fisher's Lane Conference Center, terrace level.
Sure.
I mean, that's just.
I'm glad you got it. I'm telling you right now the actual dates and times. I guess it's going to be Thursday, May 25th from 8:30 a.m. until 5 o'clock p.m. and Friday, May 26th from 8:30 p.m. until 4:30 p.m.
That's why it'll be very nice.
Secretary of the Advisory Committee on Human Research Protection.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
That's great. That's great. That's why I think it would be so important if we look like an organized group and wearing the same T-shirts. That's what groups do. That's what, protest people do. They have T-shirts to show that they're an organized group.
Okay, that's a very good idea, Michelle. We're going to get some research done on that. Who just spoke from California on the T-shirt?
My name is Ann. I'm from Eastern Massachusetts, and I was just listening to a call the other night when Terry from Oregon said that he could get a good deal. He set it up with the T-shirt guy, so I guess we'd have to contact Terry, but he did supposedly get a good deal for all of us if we want to make any kind of T-shirt. You know Terry, don't you, Frank?
Yes, I do. I don't know him.
Yeah, stop gang stalking crimes.
Exactly.
There are pictures on his website of the T-shirts. It's at Terry's website. Stop Organized Crime. Well, at his website, he has pictures of the T-shirts that he's made up himself too.
Do you have that?
And there's I can. Let me think. Stop. Yeah. .com. Stop gangstalkingcrimes.com.
Okay. Can you text that information to me as well? I think I know the site. I think I have it bookmarked, but just
I will.
He has caps and bumper stickers and posters, I think, there too.
But there's also the blue ribbon targeted individuals, which I think is done through Derek. But there already is an organization with T-shirts. It's Blue Ribbons. It's bright. It's like it's Blue Ribbon stands. So I don't. That's an international T-shirt too,
Right.
or logo.
Right.
It's like an baby, not baby blue, but it's a ribbon. So if you get those wristbands, you can get that color. That is also represents the international organization.
Exactly.
So I guess we just need a chunk of money to set up the T-shirt order. That's the problem. We don't really, any of us have a chunk of money to set the order up. I guess that would be the issue.
Well, we can do that.
You know,
We need, if everyone sits down and there's a GoFundMe on Targeted Massachusetts, so I can make it available to you. I haven't done email to my text people yet. I've done email to actually groups. Texting emails are coming out tomorrow, the RSVP, but I have not got anything out yet. But the GoFundMe site, if you've got $2, if you got $5, it's gonna buy a T-shirt or go towards a T-shirt or a gallon of gas for somebody. See, that's the way I'm doing it. It's going to be very transparent. It's basically there for everyone. It's going to pay for the real estate that we're going to be sitting on. It's going to pay for a lot of things, transportation-wise, overnight stays, food we haven't even considered yet. I don't think anybody's really thought of that. But these are all the things that I've thought of. So if you can, I mean, if you've got $5, $3, $5, just throw it in there. Every little bit helps.
yeah, and you know, too, with the T-shirts, I know, and speaking with Derek and trying to figure out what works, you know, I guess like most people can't come up with a big lump sum all at once, that we broke down how much it would cost for the actual making of the shirt and to have it sent to each person, you know, individually. And I looked into the post office, and for the post office, they only charge, I took an extra large T-shirt over to the post office, had them weigh it from the furthest distance to see, you know, how much it would cost at maximum to ship a T-shirt so each person can have it individually mailed to them for convenience. Because most places they'll only mail it to one location, but then you still have to get the T-shirts to everyone else.
Okay,
And that might,
I guess the best thing to do is make that information available to me so that I can pass it out to everyone else, or you can pass it out to everyone else.
okay.
That's very, very good that we know where that's happening. But Derek's T-shirts,
Well,
I know that they're starting at $20. Now, I'm not sure whether
yeah.
it includes any kind of shipping or not, but I will get in touch with Derek and talk to him about his PAX T-shirts. That will be very nice to represent his organization there.
Yeah.
As well.
And you know, and he's been established for years, and he has it as an international, which would be very impressive. That we're just not, you know, within this country, that we're international. So that would help to our advantage too, I would think.
Okay. Thank you very much, Michelle. Kim, you want to go into?
I do not want to be moved in here. I just put in here, okay?
Anything further on that Secretary's Advisory Committee? That is very interesting to me. That's like God's gift.
Right. Did you get, I guess, sent you 2 more text messages about it as far as the date,
Okay.
dates and times, and a phone number, a contact phone number. Did that go through?
Yep, that's the last one. For further,
Okay. I think, I know you're friends with Peter Rosenholm, too. You
right?
might want to ask him, because I think he went to one before, so he probably has a lot more information than I do about it.
Yep. Peter Rosenholm and Kate Ryan both are actually experts on dealing with the government. The pair of them should be lobbyists or something. But no, they are really fantastic people to deal with. They are very devoted to the cause. They're devoted to all the targets, and they will do just about anything to help out. And they're fantastic people. And Kate has really been hit bad, and Pete's really been nailed bad over the years. And they're both there, just as strong as ever, and in fact stronger. Pete just
Well, I'd like to do a big thank you to everybody who does stuff to help protect us despite everything we're up against and all the torture and stuff. So big thank you to everybody involved in all kinds of activism. Much appreciated.
That's right.
sure
That
is
shows,
appreciated. It really is.
yes.
I just spoke with Neil down in Florida. I don't know if you're familiar with Neil Chevrier. He's come up with a lot of different ideas that I have to research, but he did come up with one idea for me. He has the same symptoms that I do in the area of the prostate, and he just sent me all of the information that the doctor should be looking for. And when he passed this information to his doctor was amazed, and he was thanking him up and down because this is apparently brand new information. Anyway, I thought I'd pass that along. Thank you, Neil, too.
Thanks. Frank, sorry. Speaking of doctors, and how does one go about finding someone that you can trust, especially when you hear so many stories about what's done to us? You know, that's been my dilemma. And
Well,
trying to find somebody that won't be a part of this sick organized torture program. You know,
okay, what you have to figure is 90% of the medical community are people like yourself who are getting up in the morning, probably at 4 o'clock, getting to the hospital at 5 o'clock, busting their tail all day long. I mean, the amount of people that are actually doing this are few and far between. That's what I'm going to say, because as long as you don't bring up the T word, if you go to a hospital and bring up the T word, you are in trouble. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you know, there's, and that's why I always think it's a small minority. Because when I was seeing a psychologist, I always made it a point to say not all, because once you start talking about all, then of course they label you a nutcase. It's never all. There's a small percentage of bad people out here, a few bad apples in the bunch. But what also is added to that, which is even worse, is the ones that keep quiet, that blue wall, that, you know, that's why I don't blame all police, but I'm not trusting of them, because some know about it and just won't speak out about it or do anything to stop it. So that's just as bad. That's aiding and abetting as far as I'm concerned. You know, so there are the ones that are actually doing it, and then there are the ones that just stand silent and allow it to happen by not doing anything to stop it also. And so that's why it makes it so hard to really know which one to trust. You know, who won't cause harm to you when you go to a doctor or a dentist or the police or whomever. You know, because there are those that add to. They might not be doing it themselves, but they are aware of it, and they won't say a word to prevent it. Or this really should be their battle, not ours.
Yes, thank you, Michelle.
The inside people, that this is their battle. This shouldn't be our battle, and they're doing nothing to prevent it. And that's why you don't know who to trust when it comes to them all.
Yeah, Michelle, it's how do I convince a doctor when I can't even convince my own family? You know.
That's right. I don't bring up the subject either, but I mean technically, this should be their battle, because they know that this virus is within their own department, and they should have the guts to stop the spread of this evil to the public. they have a duty when they take those kind of positions, and they're not
No,
doing it. And
they
that's what
have
this tsunami project is about.
they have a Hippocratic oath, and they are learning
You mean,
about this. I
you mean
this
hypocritic?
much
Oh,
this
go ahead. I'm sorry.
they have an oath, okay, and they are learning about this, and a few of them have learned about it from me. So there are a lot of people out there who are being exposed to this, and they're learning. The
Yeah.
medical uh, community is learning about this, how to treat it, simply by not saying the T word. You say the T word, you're not going to get treated. If you say
Yeah.
a symptom,
But you know,
you'll get
because
treated.
that's what that and I'm sorry because I get so angry at all of our lives being so interrupted by this nonsense.
Yeah,
But
well, we
that's
all
what
are.
this tsunami, right, exactly right. But that's what this tsunami project and all of our other projects are about, is that
We-
we have been to the top of the hill. Each one of us have written letters to everybody that's been in a position to help us, and nobody has done that. So
Well,
now,
we,
because
we
Dr.
have to,
Horton
can,
and the other ones have said, okay, we're going to hold you personally responsible for our safety, and you can't say you don't know because we're going to have the records to show that you know now, and you've decided to ignore us, which is criminal. That's
okay,
what that
well, let me say
thing is all
one
about.
thing. No one is being ignored. Okay, every time you make a report, that report is logged. It goes into your file, okay? That's your foundation that you're building. Okay, nobody's ignoring.
Well, why hasn't anybody helped us in all of these years? 30 years
Well,
for some people.
look, okay, this is starting to come to a head now. It's not like it used to be, okay? So,
Yeah.
excuse me. So many, I'm tongue-tied. Go ahead. I give up. No, there are so many people that learn about, that have learned about this. Okay,
Frank, I
there
just
are,
think it doesn't take this long to just investigate. That's all we're asking for is an investigation. It doesn't take this long to decide to investigate. Not 30 years. That's somebody's whole lifetime, and so ridiculous that this is our battle and not the people in the position that are in a position to fight these battles for us. That's why they have these jobs, or they're there for the community protection.
I think Michelle, I read the other day that Senator Rubio wants to get a peek at what's going on from the spying, the NSA spying and stuff. And that there was another senator, I'm not sure, Frank, I don't know if you know the other senator's
Dowdy?
name, but maybe it was Dowdy. They want an inquiry in front of the House of Reps, so.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I have hope. There are so many advancements, and everybody is up and moving and fighting and doing the best that we can to combat it, and we're getting our voices heard, which is to be commended while being under attack. So we are definitely making advances, for sure, from where it was. Thank goodness for technology for us, because we're now better organized. So I'm so appreciative of that, and we are moving. And then there's that little part of me that's just mad that it's our fight, and it should be somebody else's fight, for us. So, but I just had to vent, guys. Thank you.
No, listen, I would like to comment on that also.
go right ahead, please.
All right, Frank. All right, so this is Joan in Newport, Rhode Island. I will say to you, since I've been on these calls since, I think maybe December of this last year when it started with the burn, when I was on the communities that says, do not tell anybody because you'll be issued a 5105, whatever that is, and then you'll go to a psych hospital. And the truth is, I think that's bullshit in a way because, these are physical symptoms. it doesn't matter if you're crazy or not, disabled or whatever. If someone burns you or he knocks you side the head, and you know it's not, and you're by yourself, you know it's, you know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
it kind of, these calls in a way kind of scare people into thinking that you'll be put in a psych ward, and I believe some people have been. But I don't know if that like prevents people, but I'm in the same position. I mean, a year ago, last Christmas, when they started with the things, and now I'm putting everything together. And when I thought it was riot gear that I saw on TV, this high-pitched sound. And then, but since 2 Christmases ago, I've been tortured basically. So I've been underneath. I can't function. The type of technologies that they have used on me. I mean, and so now this past Christmas, I come on these calls after I'm like, wow, now it starts with the burns. When I send a letter to HUD, don't ever send a letter to HUD in Massachusetts, and it escalated. I mean, they basically debilitate you, but on these calls they say don't. I mean, if you're getting burned, you're getting burned. I mean, I don't care about. Even if you don't talk about whatever some people say is V2K or whatever, don't talk about that. Just say, hey, you know what? I'm being tortured. I'm being hit, and these weapons are out there. Now, that's one thing I've learned from these calls. They've been out there. So thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you know.
What I will say about that is go and get treated, but just don't say the T word. Just say your symptoms. Say, okay, well, geez, I've got one hell of a headache on the left side of my head. What can we do about that? And that will prompt them to want to help you. And what they will do is they will get you down, take an MRI or a CAT scan, and start looking for your problem. And at the same time, they might find a few lovely little things in there that are electronic. But what I'm trying to say is, don't go in with an attitude. Go in very, very, be very succinct, be very polite, state your emergency.
So with the physical symptoms, when I tasted food that had metal in it, I thought, and I had all these symptoms from Walmart, and I went in and had a metal test. That's one thing. I did go to my doctor in December. I said, I feel like I'm having radiation burns in my apartment. My skin's burning. And he only did a CRP, which is test the inflammation in your blood. But there's hematologists you can go to and other things too. But yeah, I would say too, just the physical symptoms. You're burning, being burning, your eyes are bloodshot. I've gone to the doctors with my eyes when I get slammed in my eyes, and my eyes are bloodshot. One time a police officer said I had conjunctivitis, which I can't wait till court till he comes because he's part of it. Because the veins in my eyes were all sticking up from an assault. And so it's the physical part that they can't debate.
Yeah.
They have to learn. They have to learn that this is something new and something old at the same time. They have to learn what the symptoms are. After a while, all this adds up. It doesn't go by everybody. If 30 people...
Or tinnitus. That's another thing. Like, people call it tinnitus. That's a medical term. But it's not really. It sometimes sounds like a tinnitus. Sometimes it's like a hum. But it's an assault towards your head. I thought it was riot gear that the police use.
No.
And it's taken me a year to go through it, and oh my God, until they started with the burns. Now, when you're getting burned in your apartment or assaulted in your private area, when you're all by yourself. But you don't have to go there.
Let me tell you, and I hate to just to interrupt you, but while I'm thinking of it, I was able to, and I know just recently I finally made the decision. I just finally made the decision to purchase an acoustimeter because it's so expensive, But I saw Dr. Horton use one in one of her, videos, and I said if she can use one to show, how that she values that acoustimeter enough to buy one, then I will try to put together monies to get one also. So I just got it. And the other reason I was hesitant because I thought they wouldn't allow it to get to me without being tampered with. But anyway, I've had it now for about a week now, and I don't leave home without it. And thank goodness for it, because I keep my cell phone, my video cell phone in one hand, basically, or in the car with me, as well as that acoustimeter. And what that does is it also documents fights when I'm being hit. That thing will go up to maximum, the visual, and I videotape it. I can be riding along, or I could be parked
Michelle?
somewhere in my vehicle, and it's normal, and then all of a sudden it's fight. And I got video after video after video of that happening. And so I think that that's documentation that something is abnormal. All of a sudden, your huge spikes to maximum degrees, at different locations with me or at home in my house and private areas, the whole nine. When I open my front door, I'm being bombarded. When I'm in my house, I get bombarded. So that shows that something abnormal is happening there. And that would show for all of us, I would think. This isn't imagined. We're not delusional. And it is occurring. And here's a video to show it. Yes.
I'm interested to hear. I heard the word hematology. I also heard I talked to Neil for quite some time, probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Now, there are ways to identify these signals within your system according to what's in your blood. And this is what Dr. Staninger works with as well. I think she takes a sweat sample from the base of your spine, and she works with that. There are ways.
What's the name again? What's the doctor's name again?
Dr. Staninger. Okay.
Frank?
Yeah.
Hello?
Frank? I get a lot of bombarding to my head. They shoot me throughout the day, like almost nonstop at my head and private areas, basically.
Frank, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Can I ask a question?
Certainly.
Hello. I just want to say real quick. Somebody asked me to call in, and my name's Terry, so I'm here.
Hi, Terry.
For Mike paid me. So whenever you guys want me to say something or just let me know. Otherwise, I'll be muted.
Okay. Your mic will be open. I would like to hear from you. How about in a few minutes when we get...
Yeah, I asked him to come on, Frank. This is Mike, because he can give you or give everyone a deal with the printed T-shirts. He told me that.
Okay, that sounds fantastic.
All right, so I'll let you go. Keep going.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for coming on, Terry.
I just wanted to say one quick thing, and then hopefully I'll, yield the floor. I may be the oddball here. Wouldn't be the first time in my life. I might have a different idea than what other people are thinking. I just wanted to throw it out there. Obviously the majority rules are it's Frank's gig. So whichever way you want to go, Frank. But my thought was that, through my years of targeting, and it's been over 3.5 years now of intense targeting, and I do believe it's been since childhood, all in all, now that I think back on a lot of things. But anyway, through my experience of that and getting to know the groups and dealing with my family on it and friends on it and people who know nothing about it, my thought is we're going to be dealing with people when we get there, those of us who get there and go, with people who've never heard of this before. It's going to be the first time they've ever heard this in their life. And to me, some of it is going to sound really freaky to them, like out of the world crazy, especially the B2K stuff and some of that kind of stuff. And that's one thing I'm thinking, and I have learned through the years when I try to educate people who know nothing about it beyond the TI community. In my experience, I find it's a little bit better digested, 1 teaspoon of poison at a time, because it is poison. It's an awful, evil thing that they're doing, but it's a lot. It's a lot of information, and we've only got a day or two. We don't have a whole week of this audience.
So my thought is, I didn't know if there was some way maybe we could start off with the gang stalking more so and the cyber harassment more so, because that's something that people relate to, the general population, even outside the TI community, more so. Even that's hard for them to digest sometimes. I mean, they're going to be like, well, what all these people want to be conspiring against you? Why you? Why you people right up there? And why would they be doing that? So I don't know. Again, I know I'm an oddball at times, but this is just my personal thought. I'm wondering if we could kind of maybe slowly introduce it with that kind of stuff. And another thought I had, maybe set up stations, different stations throughout the day where we could have, well, this is B2K, we're going to do a demonstration on that. This is gang stalking, we're going to do a demonstration on that. And this is cyber, what we go through with our phones and our computers. This is how we try to get through the day. I mean, how are you going to work when you can't even have a phone? How are you going to, you can't even get a rent. I literally was homeless because they messed with my phone so much. So we really got to get that out there, how intense this harassment is and how all-encompassing it is. But yet, I think if we try to hit them too much too soon, they may turn off to it. Or they may look at it and they'll be dazzled. They'll be like, wow, that's, wow, the spotlight and all that. But at the same time, they may be thinking in their heads, these people are nuts, And I just don't want that to happen, because that happens so much with us. They all want to just pass us off as crazy. And, just wanted to throw that out there as just a thought and yield the floor. That's all. So I don't have any real idea.
You have to realize where that's going to be held, and there are certain things that can be done and certain things that can't be done at Lafayette Square and in front of the White House. So stations are not going to work.
Right.
Rochelle, I'm sorry you got cut off.
That's all right. But, I agree with her.
I felt bad.
I'm not saying I didn't mean to cut anybody off. That wasn't my intention. I'm so sorry about that. I highly respect you. I've heard you many times on the calls, and I highly respect you. And I just want to throw this out because I've heard, from the time I got on the call, the whole thing seemed to be going in the one direction. And I just want to throw it out there for people maybe to think about it and maybe come up with something that might be a little more palpable, and I don't have the idea how to do it. I really don't. I'm not good at that. I just have these ideas in my head. I say them, and then other people usually work out.
I'm not saying that your ideas weren't good. I respect that. I'm just saying you have to work within the parameters of the location.
Right.
Yes, I agree with what she said. We have to really think of not turning people away by something too bizarre for them to accept. When it's, we can't even, sometimes I have a hard time believing it, and I'm living it. But, to start off relating or opening a door that most people can connect to, abuse, where the medical and I think the medical and the military have been in cahoots. We have a documented history of them using people, for experimental purposes, and start connecting to something that's factual first, by slowly, introducing them to some things that they can believe. So she's exactly right, I think.
Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you.
I agree.
I respect you highly. I really do. I love the things you say. You're so intelligent. You're so spiritual and beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. You guys are too. Thank you. That's why it just sad. It breaks my heart to know that we are capable. I never thought this country was capable of this kind of thing. Never. My heart is broken just by the idea alone. That we're capable.
Well, are we going to Washington to tiptoe around the subject of being murdered, or what?
We're going to kick butt.
Because I'm done with the tiptoeing around crap. I'm done.
Right.
I'm
You're
over
right.
that.
You're right.
I got kids in this. I'm not tiptoeing around.
That's right.
Amen.
That's right. But, we have to also gain the public. That's who we need, the public support. And that's who we don't want to turn off. So by giving them too much the time, as she said, you know? So we have to start at a base that they can connect to and then work our way from that. And that's abuse. Everybody knows it exists. And everybody and there's documents that the military and the medical profession has done some things that are wrong to citizens. So we can connect those dots too. So, and the military has had an abusive history also. So all of those show abuse and can be documented, and we can have the document. And I think that's something that most people can connect to, that they know that there are dirty police officers out there, you know, that are capable of some things because it's documented also. So,
exactly.
You know, we have to start out with making these people understand that these people, there's a bad element within these groups. Not all, we're not all. And then work our way.
Yeah, this is a hate crime. This is a hate crime. We can present it as a hate crime because that's what it's part of what it is. It's a hate.
That's right. That's right. That's right. You know, we've been randomly picked out, and that's the thing, and that's what people have to also understand. We're your average guys. We're law-abiding citizens, and anybody could be chosen to be targeted at any time. So this not only saves us, it will save you and your children, and so on and so forth from this type of future.
Excuse me.
You know, I think it's very important that we let the general public know that what we're going through, it can affect them as well. They could human experimentation. They also, I don't know, can you guys hear me? My phone's acting weird.
Yes.
Also, they're poisoning our air. They're poisoning our food, our water, everything. They're trying to control every single person on this planet. So I think if we are creative in the way that we convey that message to them, they let them know that they can also be affected, and they are being affected. They just don't know it. They could also be victims of non-consensual human experimentation as well, or their children could be, or their grandchildren. So this affects every single person on this planet.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, and I think one of our goals should be, and this is what we're trying to do anyway, is just to initiate an investigation. And I think most people can be on board with that. We're just asking for an investigation. We're not asking you to, to become one of us or anything. We're just asking support from the public in initiating an investigation, which I think most people can be all right with. That's all we're asking for, is an investigation. But, to end it also, but ultimately, just to open the door, investigate it. If we're making all of these, we have a right to investigation after all of these complaints as citizens. So, and I think the general public can back any organization that's only asking for an investigation. Why not? There's no sweat off their back. Oh, we're saying you're not committing to us.
Excuse me,
you're
Michelle.
Just saying that they deserve an investigation.
Can we hear from Mike and Terry on the T-shirt acquisitions? Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm done. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Terry? Mike?
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. I can. How about everybody else?
I can hear him.
I can hear him. Yes.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Terry.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Mike paged me and asked me to talk about T-shirts. I'm running around. I'm doing some stuff. My parents had a pipe bust today, so I'm fixing their pipes and doing some work for them. But so there'll be a little noise while I'm talking. Mike paged me and asked me to come on. For you guys that don't know, I run a website called StopGangStalkingCrimes.com, and I made a deal with a T-shirt guy so that NETI can get a T-shirt made with lettering on it. There's a couple examples on my website, and you can get front and back printed for $20, was as cheap as I could get from anybody, and plus shipping and handling per T-shirt. He might make you a deal if you wanted a lot more. I think it's really important that we get out and show our numbers and wear T-shirts. I think it'd be a great idea to do it in Washington. If a few people had T-shirts, I think like Mike and Frank might not want to. They're going to present their showcase about the sound. But I encourage people to get them and wear them and pass out flyers and stuff. And I was just listening to you about stuff that happens at it. Showing the presence of the gang stalking, I think, is a really good idea. I came up with some ideas about that if Mike wants to give me a call sometime, I'll shoot him past them for him and Frank. And I think we all need to do activism, but I want to say something that's very important. Please don't take this wrong, guys, but we really got to pick our fight here. Because I hear you guys talk about chemtrails and all this stuff is true, but when we go to Washington, D.C., it's going to have, oh, I'm not going to be there, but there's going to have to be a focus on what happens. You can't go off about stuff falling from the air and chemtrails and all that.
No way.
And we're going to get lost.
Amen.
Yeah, we're gonna get lost. So some lady mentioned a little bit ago about showing a demonstration about gang stalking. Well, I was talking on Mike's call yesterday, and we were running past some scenarios about demonstrating the machine. Well, I started thinking about showing some of the other things that happen. So I came up with some ideas for that. So Mike, if you want to call me sometime, or I can say them now, but I came up with some other ideas that you just to hash around with you that you might want to use or not want to use.
Terry?
Yes.
But I think
Terry, can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
You have my email address by any chance? You must.
I think I do, Frank, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I sent out some emails to some people the other day, and I didn't get a response, so some of them might be wrong. I'm a pretty busy person, so if you shoot me some, I always get back to you sooner or later.
Okay. My phone number is 508-857. Okay.
Can you have Frank shoot it to me? I mean, Mike shoot it to me or something later. Like I said, I'm working.
I'll send you both.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm working right now. My parents had a pipe bust, so I had to dig up their yard today and replace some pipes and stuff, and I'm trying to finalize some other stuff. That's why I'm making noise. But yeah,
tonight it's fine.
Okay. Or you can call me tonight, Mike. You know, if you're not on the talk line or something.
All right.
But yeah, I think what the lady was mentioning earlier, but we really got to pick our fights, and I hope we do that when we go to Washington. I'm sure Frank and Mike got it all together, and I hope there's a lot of people going, you know, because if there's a good majority of people that get there, and I urge every one of you guys to support this demonstration, even if you guys just give $5, if they wind up with a little extra money, maybe they can get some more other people to go with them. But let's make sure they get there and they get a place to stay and stuff. It's so important. And the T-shirt deal, I realize that's controversial with some of you guys. And another thing I want to mention, because I was asked to be here, is databases. I understand that our community doesn't want their information out there, but it really is.
You have to,
and I've been talking to authorities and stuff. And I ask you guys to start talking with fellow TIs and really think about this, because any court case that we ever get, we got to have data. And if we don't put the data together and the testimonies and stuff, we'll be lacking. It'll be like every other court case we get, they'll be thrown out and they won't be heard. And we got to make sure we have documentation and we can point it at people. So when people ask you guys to fill out these databases and help out and get figures and stuff, I understand you don't want to, but that is important. If you think anybody will tell you, any lawyer will tell you, you got to have data to back up what you're claiming. And one thing that we're claiming is this is a huge crime, so we got to show that. And that's something that authorities have told me themselves. We're not showing any volume to it. They just see people here and there, and then they lock them up, and they think it's done with. So we got to show that. And that's pretty much all I got to say, unless you guys got something else you wanted me to talk about.
Yeah, Terry, I agree with you 100%. This is Frank. And we have to be totally very organized, very succinct in our topics, and very pointed in our demonstrations, such as the spotlight. That is going to be, for many people, unbelievable that are walking by. And it's great because I think what we can do is just, when somebody walks by, just say, hey, you want to join our demonstration? And just take it from there. And they will be amazed. I mean, they will be amazed. And we can take...
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Terry.
I was just going to say, it's so important. I mean, one of the things I mentioned yesterday, like you said, when they walk by, you know, say, do you want to join? But I was mentioning to Mike, how about if you guys yelled and said, try to get a reaction, like turn over this way, turn to the left, or wave. And you guys could catch that on camera. I mean, that's people that are just all of a sudden, changing what they're doing. But even just joining. And the presentation is so important. And I really hope when you guys get there, you guys set up some type of with everybody that shows up, that you got all their names and stuff so you can set up demonstrations. Because I think if you guys set this up, it's going to be one of the biggest things in our fight to date.
You're exactly right. And the second thing that is going to be in the fight is unification. I mean, everyone is scattered, as you mentioned. We have to stand united. That's why the numbers have to go up in Washington. The more people we can get there to make that statement, the better off we are. And Terry, I thank you very much for this T-shirt offer. We got to get together on this. And you're right about small donations. I mean, if someone got $5 in their pocket, just convert it to GoFundMe and either go to the Washington site or go to Mike's site so he can complete what he's doing. And it's going to go to a bed. It's going to go to a ride. It's going to go to some gasoline for somebody. It's going to go to somebody that's stranded, because that's the way we are. We're one big happy family, and we're here to help each other. That's why I take the calls in the middle of the night. And it is like a big family, and we're starting to get to know everybody, and it's great. But we have to be, as Terry says, pointed. We can't go there and dawdle around. We have to have a visual itinerary with that unit so that people will actually enjoy it. They'll laugh, and then they'll start to think, these people deal with this every day in a different way. So go ahead, Terry. And Mike, if you're still there, love to hear from you. And Linda, Linda's on the call too.
Yeah, good.
Frank?
Yes.
Yeah, hi. This is Beth from Florida.
Yeah.
I was thinking more with the speakers, that other speakers we've had on the calls that have the science and the technology expertise that could help even be the forefront for us, because they're the ones that know how this stuff works. And their testimony with an ex-naval officer, a science officer, people that have former CIAs, people that have been, in the program or knew about the program, their expertise and knowledge of all this stuff will back us up on as far as our symptoms, the weapons that are used, everything.
I agree with that.
I mean, if we had them in the forefront, it's like when you're leading an army. You can't lead an army without a colonel or a general, somebody leading and saying, okay, we trust that general, right? But if a soldier walked up, a private walked up to you, you're not going to believe him that much, are you? If a general walked up to you, you're going to listen.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that.
Plus audio testimony from these people. What do you think in your own mind would get your attention? Audio or a picket sign? Like Frank's in the audio spotlight, which is great. I mean, that really should make some kind of dent in this whole thing and really wake.
You have to have a combination of both of them, or several.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I
don't expect people to depend on just that thing at all. That was just meant as a demo, as a simulation demo, in addition to whatever other kind of information people can focus on and try to get across. Maybe one-on-one around in that area. Or
Terry,
speaking or whatever.
Okay, Terry, you're the one. You had that website, the StopGangStalkingCrimes.com, correct? Terry?
He might have left. He had to do some. He had to do some digging.
Well, what
he had to dig in the
I
yard.
was going to
Pipes
say,
are broken.
can you imagine in New York City, just a hypothetical idea here, do you know that big screen they've got in New York City You know, that big screen that they show with everything in New Year's and all that.
Yes.
Yes. What if? Okay, now remember that Jesse Ventura did an interview with Dr. John Hall, where he admitted this is going on. Can you imagine what the New Yorkers would think if they saw that right there on the screen in the middle of rush hour or whatever? I mean, they can see it right there on the screen. And
I think
listen
that's an
to the
awesome
interview.
idea. Awesome idea. I kind of pictured it in my head too. If we could have a screen of something, that's perfect.
Because I watched the video that Terry had on his website.
I am still here, guys.
I listened to it.
Hey,
Hi, Terry. It was just a thought, because the more we get even audio, when I'm working outside of my house, I've got a little tape recorder that I turn on. I turn up the volume. I want my neighbors to hear the testimony from the science officers, the naval officers, people that are aware of this program, and I let them listen to what's really going on. I just want them to hear it, and then they can make their own mind up and say, well, we hear so much about it. Something's got to be going on. Because the regular media may not completely listen to us. So I think in another way, another direction, it might help us if we create our own media.
Can I ask, what is that? There's some kind of clicking noise that I hear. I don't know what that is, but can
Yeah,
somebody
I hear that too.
It's so
Yeah,
annoying. I can't
Caller.
even
that doesn't need to be
concentrate.
there. Yeah, that doesn't need to be there. Come on.
It happens all the time.
It's part of
You
somebody's
hear that a
audio.
lot.
Every time they speak, it comes up, and I don't think they mean to do it.
Yeah, that
It's
doesn't
something
need,
in
that
their
doesn't need to
system.
be there. Yeah.
Has anybody here listened to that interview that Jesse Ventura did on Terry's website?
Oh, I think so. Oh, for sure.
I mean, that to me, that is a powerful interview. And even spreading that video around, guy's admitting right there on camera all the stuff that he created, and he started this whole ball of wax, this whole mess that we're in.
Okay,
More people heard that and watched it.
Right.
They'd like, what the heck's going on? You know.
I'd like to get back
We have to. Go ahead. That's all
simple
I wanted to
things
say.
like speaking in Washington. Now, Bluetooth is very popular, and it works very well. Now, one small Bluetooth unit cranked up full throws out a lot of sound. I was just thinking of maybe sound units we can possibly rent when we get there. That's something I'm checking tomorrow. We need something to get out. In other words, if we're speaking, we need some type of amplification. Not much, but just a little bit. Doesn't have to be stereo. It can be mono, just to get out of our own crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Absolutely.
Is there some type of power source where you guys are
going
going to be?
Are
Yes.
pretty good. I'm planning to trying to work with one after I get the unit here and see what I can do with something like that, and also just to play a feedback, or I'm sorry, just play a couple of tracks that explain what the whole demonstration is about.
That's a very good idea.
And I was talking with Terry, and we had an interesting idea where people that wanted to volunteer to have it tried on them, we could actually have a system where they speak into something in their own voice, and the audio spotlight puts their own words back into their head.
That sounds great. And in the future, I'm just stepping into the future for a second. If we had like 2 or 3 or 4 audio spotlights and put one
That's originally
official,
what I wanted. Originally wanted two systems working
right,
together.
and put, we'll say, a public official in just sitting in a chair and torment him for a minute or two with these units and say, okay, this is what happens to us every day.
Right.
Well, it's a little different, it's a little dirtier too. And see what they say, see what the guy says. Right. I think you're going to have a supporter when he gets up out of that chair.
Right, that's a future idea. Yeah, I just don't. You know, this is the very, very beginning.
Yep, I agree.
Phase of everything. And it took me, much longer than I thought it would even get to this phase. So I'm hoping the next ones, and anybody who has any ideas, yourself or anyone, or Terry or anyone, it doesn't matter, how we can use these things and other things in the near and distant future to get the public's attention and get their support would be greatly appreciated, because we have to keep the momentum. We have to have the momentum going once we do this meetup, and then other things people have to be constantly reminded of this.
Right, and another thing we should pick up is there's no time element involved here. Nobody has to be in a hurry to do anything. We have to basically play with the crowd, play to the crowd. I mean, Mike's a musician too. I am as well, and just get a feel for the crowd, and you'll see what the crowd wants.
Oh, can we get any music, Frank? Can we get any music? I've been asking Ella about that because she has some people in the music business. I think music would be amazing. We could play some songs.
That would be
I Walk Alone or something like that, because we're walking alone, things like that. That would be amazing.
What we can do is, within this sound system, this small sound system that we can possibly rent there, we can, plug in probably anything. We can probably drop an iPhone and send it a YouTube channel playing. We can do anything. Today, with electronics, we can do anything. I mean, that's a good idea. I didn't think of that. That's one I didn't think of. Background music.
Even live music, if we could get a live band to play for us.
This is what we're going
to. Frank, hi. I might also like to add that some people like and some people didn't like him as a president, but there is a taping on YouTube of President Bill Clinton at the time acknowledging in 1994, I think the year was 1994, that apologizing to those people that have been used as experiments and abused, by way of our government or agencies. And I think if you close your eyes, you would think that he's addressing it to us and apologizing for what's happened to us. And I think, I think just the fact that he's a president, an actual the president, the highest position in this country, acknowledged as late as 1994 that people are being abused. It should be also maybe brought to this Washington thing. As far as confirming, it's not us imagining or being delusional. That the president of the country,
well, we are familiar with that.
Country acknowledged it. What did you say?
We're familiar with that, and I agree. Yes. Those messages have to come out. Right now, we're trying to stick to the physical realm, things that they can hear, things that they can see.
Things that they can experience directly and without a lot of complicated explanation or having to learn new vocabulary or terminology in the way that we understand it.
Very good.
Yeah, I guess piggybacking on what the other lady said, that what we're trying to do is get public support also in this demonstration, I would think, and that would have to be by way of something that's not going to be so far out there for them to connect to. And I think with a president acknowledging that people have been used, and he apologizes for that, it connect the average guy to that we're not delusional or we're not psychotic and we're not a bunch of crazy.
We know that we're not delusional. What we're trying to do is lay
But they
out
don't know it. They don't know it, Frank. That's the
Wait.
problem. They
But
don't
they don't
know
know
it.
it. The
We got to
people don't know
introduce them. I think if we
Right.
start with the president, like she said, we start with Ed Snowden. We have like a whole clip of different people, whistleblowers, Karen Stewart, and then we get to the audio spotlight. Otherwise, they're going to think maybe we rigged this up with our crazy minds, and we're playing games with them, and we're crazy. So I think if we start off with these, important people, these people they're going to believe, and they don't know us. They don't
That's
know
exactly
us.
right. And what bigger person in this country other than a president they can connect to a president, like him or not. He still has the highest office in this country and acknowledged it.
Right.
It. That's the point.
I agree. That's a starting point. First, you put that clip on of the president doing that, or Ed Snowden, or maybe you have 3 or 4 of them up there that they trust and know, saying what they did to us. And there's plenty of videos. Bush has one that says, "Oh, if they knew what we did, they'd take me and lynch me down the street." There is a video on YouTube of Bush saying that if they knew what we did, they would lynch me. Exactly, he says that. So there's a whole bunch of them out there like that. And we have those first. And then the spotlight, they can connect the dots. This is what these people set up. This is what it feels like. If you just start what it feels like, they're going to be like, what the hell? Okay, we don't get it. Where did it come from? How did it, I think
you are feeding into what I had in mind, and that's Karen Stewart speaking in conjunction with Ella Free, and bringing this thing to a crescendo, and then drop in the audio spotlight. Set them up for it. And Karen and Ella can do that.
I'm sorry, within our communities, they're highly known, but to the general public, I think if we can put up a person that's known outside of our community.
Included with Ella and Karen. Included with Ella and Karen around the time. I agree. That would be an addition to it.
That's a great idea. We need somebody, who has already experienced. See, we're kind of like jumping the gun a little bit unless we can come up with someone, because we need someone who has experienced the audio spotlight, who is in a high position to fill the shoes of that person that you just spoke of. Unless you have a senator or a representative who is like a real close friend.
I wish we could get Massey. What's her name? The one that's running for Senator, Massey in California. She's supposedly targeted.
Okay. Ethan might be on the call. I'm not sure.
Massey Monroe.
Yes.
Massey Monroe.
Right.
Yeah, Massey Monroe. That would be great.
I thought we were able to show videos, that's what I meant. Videos of big name people acknowledging that people have been used and abused by our government.
We're familiar with that.
Bill Clinton put a thing on. They have it on YouTube. He was a president. He's acknowledging that people have been and apologized.
Okay.
He gave a public apology.
In Washington, we cannot show this video. I would love to. Maybe we could show. Maybe we can play the audio in the background if everyone agrees to that. I'm trying to come up with things that we
didn't know you couldn't do that. We didn't know you couldn't do that.
Well, we don't have a screen as yet. Okay. If we come up with screens and things like that by the 24th, that's fine. I'm in agreement. I'm trying to see, all the pieces are hanging, and I'm waiting for them to fall into place, and a few of them have. And it's going exactly the way I thought it would. It's going exactly the way I wanted it to, right down to Mike and Terry with the T-shirts. It's really falling into place. Now, all we have to do now is choreograph or orchestrate what's going to happen in Washington. And you guys have brought up some very valid points that we have to get out there. These points at this particular point in time are for Karen and Ella, and possibly myself or Mike to get out there. We'll get these points out there so the people can understand them. And then, as I say, a crescendo up to the audio spotlight. And by the way, we have an accurate demonstration of what voice to skull actually is. Would you like to hear it? And we can have one of our own. Actually, we can't. I was going to say we can start with one of our own people, like with a voice on the shoulder, but that's not going to do it. We need a total stranger, a higher up if we can. But we got to play a lot of this by ear. A lot of it will fall into place when we get there. Like, for instance, what Kim just texted me. That's a pot of gold to me. And I don't know if you were on the call when Kim texted this, Mike.
What?
We have a Secretary's Advisory Committee on Human Research Protection on May the 25th in Fisher's Lane Conference Center, terrace level.
Yes, I saw that. Yes, I saw that.
That's valuable. Now, depending
Yeah,
upon the length of time that we are at Lafayette Park, we could visit this location with the audio spotlight as well. See, there's no time restrictions. There are no restrictions except for what they might have. But someone last Friday evening mentioned a candlelight vigil, or possibly for those who have passed. Now, I think that's a good idea. Whether it's permissible, I am not sure. That's something I have to learn. This is a great learning process, and I'm still planning on going down with Mike before the event. And that is
yes, it would have to be after the 8th.
Right, exactly. And what we'll do is we'll put a nice big blanket in the back seat, and, and we know who's going to sleep there.
Yeah, she actually likes traveling because that's what she does. She either looks out the window or sleeps.
Right.
She calls it the room that moves.
But everyone has got so many good ideas, and I've used a lot of them. I've incorporated a lot of them into this.
Who's this?
Every time somebody speaks,
Yeah.
you know, a piece of that sticks, you know, if not all of it. And we've got a lot of good things to do. The candlelight vigil, you guys can think about if you want to do it, if you're interested in it. That's not too expensive at all. I hadn't thought of it. That's something that came last Friday. So we can vote on things like that. We can talk about things like that and get some votes on it. What do you think, Mike?
Well, it depends on what...
Momentum.
Momentum-wise, right. We have to be, as far as any kind of... Are you talking about the presentation itself? It has to be very easily understood, relatively brief, relatively brief, so that it can be repeated possibly several times over, and you know, consist of maybe 3 or 4 major tactics that are used, or systems, whatever you want to call it. I call them tactics.
Yeah. Okay. And we'll say we got a crowd. That crowd winds down. You see another crowd starting to build up. Okay, start again. This is basically what you're saying.
Right. You start. It's like like 16 or 32 bars that you play over again.
Okay, that sounds good.
And something that people can go away from, maybe humming or whistling their tune, whatever you want to call it. It made an impression, because this will make an impression on them. And a lot of, I think people that because tech is so common now, a lot of people, no matter what their age, when they first experience it, will say, "Oh, that's interesting." You know, they won't be connected to something that's fearful or something that's damaging or something that's a crime. You know,
right.
To them, it's people who grew up with technology. that would be something that's a novelty, or something they'd want to experience, which is still all right because we could actually, turn that into something content-wise from that system to something that's very negative when they hear it. Also at the end, I can start out where it's safe and it's neutral and whatever, but can also go into something that's kind of somewhat negative and a little bit unnerving, whatever, just as a demonstration. It depends. I'll have to go through my head and some other suggestions to see what kind of content we want.
Well, that sounds good. Maybe we should start outlining a little bit. I can sit down and...
Actually, all this stuff in my head I've been doing.
Okay.
I actually walk around. When I walk with Sophie, too, around the neighborhood, around the woods, and I see people fishing or doing whatever, I'm like, I wonder if I can get them from here. Or if I wonder, how I can do this or that with it. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'm so surprised that early on, maybe the unit wasn't as good. That's got to be the answer, because you tried to get the first unit, and I guess Pete Santilli sold it or something. But yeah,
right, and they didn't know how to use it correctly, and it's not what people think. It's not exactly a direct likeness of V2K. It's a simulation. That's right.
Exactly.
I stress with people. It's something that it's the only thing that we have right now that will demonstrate in real time to someone what's happening to us, rather than trying to get them to understand it. They're like, oh, you hear voices in your head. No, go home and take your pills in there. Yeah. Or there's actually other groups out there that say, 15% of the population hear voices anyway, and who cares? And, all these other things. So, but this is it's a good start, and I'm always curious as to, with so many people coming online all around the world and on YouTube and everything who have way more money than I'll ever have, why haven't they bought a few of these units, either individually or collectively?
they're not as smart as you, Mike. That's why.
I don't think that's it.
They just didn't think of it.
Yeah, they didn't think of it because it's and the thing is, a lot of times it's stuff that's right under your nose.
Exactly.
Things that are just out there, and we're so busy talking about really complicated things, but we can't prove it. This is the safest, the easiest, basic thing that we can use that can at least show what's happening, at least demonstrate it, and it's easy to use. That's all I'm concerned about.
When explaining something complicated, simplify the best way you can.
Right.
And Audio Spotlight is great. V2K, the difference, delivery method. Once we learn the parameters of this delivery method, we'll be done with this.
Even piezoelectrics will help demonstrate a lot to people. A lot of that stuff will help. If you can connect a transducer to someone's ankle and they hear it in their head, that's important to show enough.
Yeah, that's actually going to Patrick Flanagan's neurophone, which is in essence, we can start explaining that to him, but we'll lose him. Yeah, Patrick Flanagan.
That's why I didn't want to, because it's too complicated. Yep. Right.
It's too in depth. You have the right idea. Keep it as simple as we can, and the eyes and the ears are what we can use.
Especially in a place like that. Think of, even though it's the seat of government and we're doing like essentially a demonstration or a protest or whatever you want, I call it public awareness outreach. And the thing is, that's almost like going to the Times Square or a circus or something in a way, because there's other people protesting. There's a lot of important things going on. There are individuals that are protesting there every day along Pennsylvania Avenue, people with sandwich signs or all kinds of banners. And so a lot of times we have to compete with it. Our stuff has to be, it has to stand out, it has to be memorable, and it has to get people's attention in a very short period of time.
Well, you've got the right idea. Choreographing the event, basically toned to the audience, is an area that I didn't really explore yet. I've been too busy at this point in time putting the mechanics.
Well, logistics,
together.
right? Logistics first.
Yep.
You have to find out: is it possible? What, where, when, and how? And right, of course. Yeah. But the other stuff, as you go along, you'll find out you have to do the stuff that will catch people's attention and make an impression on them. What kind of content? What kind of delivery? What kind of performers? In other words, we're the performers. What kind of performance? It's like a performance art.
Yeah,
what
it
kind
is.
of performance are we going to put on? What kind of impression are we going to make? Who is going to be up and speaking? Who's going to be, whatever they're going to be? Is there going to be a banner or people wearing T-shirts or people handing cards out with websites or I don't know what, but yeah.
That's fantastic. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add or join in with Mike?
Frank, this is Lori in Atlanta.
Okay.
How much will be devoted to, these weapons, the torture, the non-consensual human experimentation?
I think
weapons are. I'm sorry.
Okay, I think what's going to happen is Karen Stewart is going to take the floor when it comes to that. She is, as you know, an NSA whistleblower, and she knows in essence the core of this stuff. And she's the one who will embody the suffering that you and I and everyone else has endured and still endures to this day.
Right.
But Ella will bring out the emotional aspect of what this has done to your family, my family, your daughter's family in the future. This is why we're here, to stop this disease before it gets any further. And I call this the crime of the age. I don't call it, the perpetrators, all right. A crime that has not been seen in 2,200 years. I mean, it's the crime of the age. It really is. The silent Holocaust. But go ahead. I'm starting to get off track here and rambling and everything. But
because you can say that this is the problem with this, and it is the crime of the age. We can tell people all we want about how we're made ill or uncomfortable and tortured and this and that. But they'll say, look, I just see people standing there trying to tell me how bad off it is. I don't see anybody, for example, not to demean anybody, because I've had it said to me, I don't see anybody on crutches in a wheelchair. I don't see anybody with an eye patch. I don't see anybody, I don't show me. I know it sounds kind of gruesome, but show me some damage or show me how this can be done. We can't show them either one directly yet, how the damage or how the damage is done to people. They can only try to get it across to them. That's why I keep saying this is the only way I've found so far that will show people even one small part of what's going on.
Oh, Mike, when I found that audio spotlight, all I did was post it for days and days and days.
But
in the beginning, I found 2 videos on it, and I almost fell over backwards when I saw it.
Oh, it's been around for. And the thing is, though, this is another thing we have to try to get people to do on the calls or in the groups. And Terry agreed to start doing this. I'm really glad I said something to him. If you see a place and you think certain things are being used on you, whatever you want to call them, instead of showing papers and patents, and no one's going to pay attention to that yet, except us.
Right.
Go onto websites, go online and see if there's any place you can either find devices that say they're going to do this to you, or find schematics or instructions that you can that the more technical people of our community can put together for you, and try them out on yourself, on each other, on your friend who doesn't think you're so crazy and wants to wants to help you out or whatever. Try them. We have to keep trying, and they might be the one, they might work, they might turn out to be bogus, but it doesn't matter. We can't just go by hearsay. You can't do
Mike, would you like me to get in touch with Dr. Pompey tomorrow, the inventor?
Yes, if you could. I've tried, but it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy at all.
Okay, people don't understand the significance of Bose audio. Bose audio
or I do.
Since I was little, Bose Audio has been really something. I was going to go to work there after my studio. I didn't have the paperwork. I have the knowledge, but not the paperwork. And I was really disappointed because I lived down, at that time, down the street from one of their labs.
Right.
But if we can get Dr. Pompeo through Bose somehow, that'll be good. I'll try doing that tomorrow. You say, where did you try and look?
I tried to look in someplace in Massachusetts. I can't remember the location of the.
Off 495, I think.
I don't know the name of the town.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll put that on my list.
I want to say it was Waltham, but I don't think so.
Could be that area.
And you know that Bose was really had a lot of military contracts at the end of World War II and beyond because their systems were used to try to minimize the effect of ELF on pilots. The extremely low frequencies and very low frequencies created by aircraft engines were causing them a lot of personality distortions and changes and physical symptoms where they were at the point they couldn't fly anymore.
Kilos,
so that's
too.
when they started developing. Yeah, they started developing those noise canceling headsets that has a. Now they have computer chips in each ear cup that create frequencies that will create a phase and cancel out any incoming unwanted sounds or frequencies.
I guess in Vietnam as well, some of the Cobra pilots were driven crazy by a certain frequency that the blades made when they were at a certain speed.
That's right, at a certain speed, and that's even being shown nowadays because I live in upstate New York. We have a lot of the wind farms up here, and a lot of the people who put them on their private property say they're not feeling so good now.
No, I wouldn't say they would. I'll say one thing, the birds sure as hell don't like it.
So, you know, there's different things that we have to look around for that maybe, you know, we wouldn't think of normally, or it doesn't seem like it because it's on the market. But these are things that can help us and help us explain to other people what's happening to us. And not explain, demonstrate. Yes, demonstrate. To show people how we can hear without our ears being involved.
Right.
The audio spotlight is one way. The other way is a company called Aftershocks. They have these headsets that are bone conduction that you play music through by putting it on your neck or on your cheekbones.
Yeah, the Pizio will do it too. It's so complicated to set up, though. That's
Yeah, I know that. But and right, these are self-contained. They're already on the market. They're less than $100.
Is that right?
So, yeah.
With a mixer and recorder and everything?
No, they're just self-contained. They're a headset like you would wear for to go out jogging or whatever in the park.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're just a handheld little set of, and they're Bluetooth. So you just put your music in through that.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, Bluetooth will be very valuable.
Yeah.
Alltech Lansing has a unit that's really fantastic. I bought one. It's very, very small. It's probably, I don't know, 9 inches long by 4 inches tall or less. And it's put out by Alltech Lansing. They're the chief loudspeaker people in the world. They invented the first loudspeaker. This thing, you turn it on, it will blow you out of the car almost as bad as the car stereo will.
Yeah,
I have a very nice stereo. But
it's strange how it doesn't seem like it can, but it will. Yeah.
Yeah, and it has 10 hours of battery life too, and you can throw it in the bathtub if you want, throw it outside in the rain. It's indestructible.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I keep going. I don't want to just take up too much time. We got off on a little.
No, we got some ground to cover.
Can I mention something real quick?
Sure, go right ahead.
I want to say, Mike, what you're doing, proving stuff is very good. And I think I told you the other day I took it to heart. We're going to do a demonstration ourselves out here.
Right.
And it's on a different loud. It has to do with sound waves. but it's on a different level inflicting to the human body. And I think Mike's really right. And I think what I want to step in and say is we actually have an army, guys. We really do. If we all pull together, we start networking, and especially quit fighting on the calls. I hear too much of that. I just want to throw that in there. But Mike's got the right idea here. We got to start proving this technology and stuff. So if you guys know people that are working the electronics field, if they don't want to get involved, maybe they can help us out. Show us where we can get some of these things and maybe direct us towards what we do. And we should all reach out to anybody we know. We don't have to get them directly involved. We can just get information from them, because Mike has the right idea. We start showing that this stuff can be done, like T.I.'s complaining about getting zapped and shot. Well, that's going to be the next phase after my experiment, because I think I have somebody that I can get one of those things from to prove how they do that. So that's really important, and that'll help us fight so much more. So I urge you guys, once again, to really back what Mike's idea here and Frank going out there and demonstrating, and try to work on, think of your own ideas too, and really get involved in every way that you can. Some people will email, some people can give $5, to this thing. And I encourage you guys all, I said this on many shows, you guys, if you got Mike and Frank's emails, just before they get ready to go, everybody you can, send them some emails. Let's build their spirits as high as we can, so that when they get there, they're in the best moods possible and they're really energized to do this, because they're going out there for all of us. That's all I got to say, guys. I got to go. You guys all have a nice day.
Thank you very much.
Too. Thank you so much.
Frank, Lori again in Atlanta. I have a question. So as far as proof, have you thought about maybe asking Melinda Kidder to speak? Because she can certainly, speak to the fact that we have GPS tracking implants in our body.
We are still reaching out. I reach out every day to a new spectrum of people, we'll say. And yes, she is on my list of people to contact, along with Dr. Stanager, along with some people in the State House in town that I know. There's a lot of people that I have to contact. You wouldn't believe in the course of a day how much time it takes to converse with one individual, and it just consumes your whole day. And if it's not on the phone, I don't have to tell you guys. You do it all the time. But that's what I'm going to do next, and you're right, Dr. Stanager and Melinda Kidder. And I urge Kate, if she's still on the call, Kate is very familiar with Melinda Kidder, and I believe Dr. Stanager as well. And that's what we need to do. I'm sure, I know they are interested in helping. I know they charge a lot of money for what they do, but I think in this case, a speaking engagement, I think they would probably be willing to come. But we'll know. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Even if they can't, come and speak, maybe they could provide you with some data.
Yeah.
For example, if Melinda could say she scanned, 300 TIs and 300 of them have, GPS tracking implants in their body, that might, provide some proof.
That's a very good point. Linda just texted me. She would like to ask a question. This is Hawaii calling. Oh, hold on a minute. I'm going to send a message. Go ahead, guys. That's another TI from Hawaii. She's in a lot of trouble. That's a bad place to live when you don't have too much dough. Hawaii is extremely expensive. She's in Maui, and it's terrible on her, I guess. They really put her through the ringer. Go ahead. Who was speaking just? Well, that's Lisa calling. Okay. Excuse me, folks.
I'm surprised this call has so much background noise considering Frank's paying for it.
Yeah, how much see, the background noise you're getting now is me with a telephone call. And I have my good headset died, so I had to scramble down and pick up a cheap headset. And it probably doesn't have any kind of noise canceling. So my apologies on that. Are you getting a lot of noise? Because I am not getting any. Let me see if I can. Oh, somebody's yelling outside. All right, my phone is totally locked up with people. All right, hold on a second. Oh, she doesn't need call numbers. So is there another area that somebody would like to cover?
Well, I'd just like to make a short statement. On the call the other night, they were talking about Bill Binney and Kirk Weave.
Yeah.
And they said they quit. And that's not true. I emailed Kirk and I said, did you quit? They're doing some type of a, I don't know what it is, but exactly, but they're doing something that they're going to send around to all the TIs for evaluation. And they're not quitting. They have not quit. So that's it.
Okay, the only thing I can think of that's coming up for evaluation, there are actually two devices that are coming up for evaluation. One has been produced by Magnus Olson's company. It is a small medallion-type device that hangs around your neck.
This is something like a form, some type of a form they're sending out, not a device.
Okay, all right, form that they're sending out.
You know that Bill Binney is an organizer. That's what he did in NSA. He led a team, and they invented Trailblazer, and he was the head honcho. And he's putting together this, I don't know what it is, an evaluation of some type. And he sent it out, a beta, and got the results back, and he's now working on modifying it. But they haven't quit. If anybody thinks they quit, they didn't. Someone said it on one of the calls the other night. I just wanted to bring that out.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's Nina. Is this Frank?
One other statement I'd like to make is, I think that you're getting very, very complicated. And I think that you should simplify everything. Do I really, really need this? Do I really, really need that? Because you don't want to be overwhelmed by everything.
Very good. Very good point.
Well, if you, all the comments are really good. That you got to keep it simple so that you can work it. If you get too complicated, you're going to get lost in the bushes. And end the story.
Oh, hi, Frank.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fine. I'm sorry. I just got home, so I said I want to tune into your call. How is everything going?
Very good. I'm right now. I'm tied up between the chat room, which doesn't have any activity, the callers, which there was a lot of activity, a whole bunch of texts, and a whole bunch of phone calls. So I'm doing fine, I think.
You're bombarded. It's Friday.
That's okay. It's a good way to be. That means everybody's
Yeah.
positive.
Yes.
That's what we have to have, is a positive attitude. I'm seeing it more and more
Yes.
every day.
You have to be active in this kind of abuse format, you know. Everybody's going to come up and have to keep their mind, you know. And it does help because everybody's sharing their stories, you know, sharing advices, and it helps one another to vent, you know. That's how I feel.
Britt, you want to take the call for a few minutes? I've got a couple of people I have to answer here.
Sure. Well, this is Nina Duvall, if anybody knows me
hi,
off
Nina.
of Facebook.
No,
Hi. So if anybody has questions for me,
yes,
you're more than welcome.
we do. We would like to have your devoted senator come to Washington. Is that possible?
Well, it is possible. As a matter of fact, I was touching bases with her yesterday. Just to keep you posted, she's working 14 to 17 hours a day. Now, you know, mind you, she's having the two things are going, the book and the campaign. So both of these are like so much work, as you probably know, running exactly with these topics. So definitely I will put that on her list, is to have you, you know, talk to you and to tune in on our group call, if that's what you'd like me to do.
Sure.
Yeah, that's definitely. I've also done last week. Well, no, I think it was Sunday. Was it? Yeah, Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure. I'm like so crowded with things. Interview with Anthony, if you probably know Anthony, and I've done that with him on the V show, the Hardcore Pill.
Yeah.
So we're about to finalize another chapter into the recorded episode. So that should be coming out shortly. I just need to work with him on the post of the advertising on Sunday. So we're going to do that this Sunday. I just want to keep it, you know, simple. I might have to call you to get your professional input on this. And then from there, the episode will close, and I talk a lot about Miss Massey and her, Miss Massey Monroe and her campaign and what she's about, what she's talking about regarding the targeted victims unit, you know, community, and what she wants to take to the Senate and what she believes in. So those are the lot of issues that I was talking about in the show. And also she talks about a lot of our First Amendment, Eighth Amendment, 13th Amendment, and a lot of issues. Excuse me. So it should be ready by next week. Anthony was asking me, Frank, if you would like to send him an invitation for the group call.
Anthony?
Yeah, he wants to join us one time for the group call.
Okay. Where do I send it?
Okay, I will send you a snapshot.
Okay.
Of him, of his account when you're done, of course, with all the activities you're going through today. So probably tonight I'll send it to you.
Okay.
And he wants to be invited also for the conference call.
Okay.
That would be great. He's got a lot to offer. He's really experienced, just like you, and talented in many, many ways. And I said to him when I was talking to him, I said, you probably hear that statement about you. I said, I feel so horrible not having a chance to working every single day that I can't tune into my good friend Frank Allen's call. And I feel like I want to beat myself up for it. And he was laughing. He was like, I want to do that too. I want to join him.
Nina,
yeah.
You were saying that you wanted to go to Washington back in February. You were talking about it. Why don't you just plan on coming with us and just have Massey come and speak? We'd love it.
When is the date? Because first of all, I want to be honest with you. I have the will and the want to go. The financial means I need to meet that, to be able to do this. Give me the exact date and stuff, and what I'll do is I'll email it to her. And also
May the 24th and May the 25th.
Okay, so that's for Washington, right?
Right, and if this thing goes well, we may stay another day. Who knows? I mean, not all of us, maybe, but a few of us. But something came up that I really would like to research, and that's Kim sent a text to me. It's the Secretary's Advisory Committee on Human Research, and that's
No way.
no way.
Wow. I mean, I'm amazed.
Yeah, and that's taking place on the same day at Fisher's Lane Conference Center. So we need to find, okay, that's 25th. From 8:30 a.m. until 5 p.m. We have all day to visit that. And May 26th from 8:30 until 4 p.m., 4:30 p.m. So that's great. That's, I mean, if Massey could come and then we could go there and we put all this together, I'm seeing the pieces fall right into place tonight.
Yeah. You know what? Send me a link on that or any info. What I'll do is I'll forward it to her.
Okay.
And I will definitely emphasize how important if she goes. Because even if I can't make it and she goes, that's a lot. That's a good thing for us. You know?
Yeah, she can speak with, Karen Stewart is going to be a speaker. Ella Free is going to be a
Oh,
speaker.
awesome.
So,
And who else?
Yeah, it's going to be quite an event. And if Massey could come, that would be the icing on the cake, too. The third layer of icing, put it that way.
I just want to say it's actually, point of information, it's actually the day after the Washington, D.C. protest. The day after, I believe, and then the following day. It sounds like it's a 2-day thing. So, you'd be able to have the protest and then go to that the following day, and then the day after if you want to go to the second day.
Sure. So it
that's awesome.
coincides, actually, according to what I'm seeing. So we have 24th,
Yeah, 'cause
25th.
I did see a post about the hotel prices, which is really affordable.
Right. Everybody's going to start hitting it, though. The way hotels work, the closer you get to a date, the harder they want to hit you. So if everybody's going, can get booked at that particular place, that'd be great.
Hey, Frank.
Yeah.
It's Sandy. How you doing, hon?
Hi, Sandy.
Listen, I just wanted to leave 2 numbers with you so you can call them and get some additional information. This would be with reference to the White House and Lafayette Square.
Sure.
So the first, well, let me kind of just
Can you
backtrack
text
a
them
minute.
to me? Because
Yeah.
I'm in a situation
Yeah.
where I've got multiple texts coming in by the second, phone calls coming in like 1 a minute,
Yeah,
and
no problem. I just wanted you to be aware in case you need. The park and the White House are operated by different law enforcement agencies, and they all have different rules. So you just may want to touch base with them.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, I just want to wish everybody a good night.
People already.
Sorry.
I love to. You may have a different angle of people that I need to call.
Good night.
Good night. Caller 18 has left. I never got a chance to say goodbye.
Oh, well, I'm going to have to say goodbye, Frank. I've got the grandkid who spilled juice right now on everything on himself, so I'm watching him while I'm doing all this. But I will definitely do what you've asked me in regards to Washington. Just if you can send me all the info, I will work on it tonight as soon as I get a release. A babysit. Yeah. Okay. All right, well, you take care.
Okay, thanks, Nina. And
you're welcome, and I'll try again next Friday, but hopefully earlier.
Hopefully we connect and get Massey to Washington.
Yeah.
That's where she's.
Yeah, I really want to. Yeah, I really want to do that. So I'm going to talk a lot about it with her, and hopefully she'll go.
Okay, sounds fantastic. Well, you have a good night. We're all going to
You
start
too. Thank you.
making our way over to Linda's call here in a little while because it's like
Okay. Well, God bless
9:01.
you all.
God bless.
Okay.
Be safe.
Thank you. Bye-bye. You too. Bye-bye.
She's a peach. She always wants to help. Okay, is anybody interested in laying something out that they want to talk about? I guess not. Mike, you still there? Okay, we have 48 people here. Somebody's going to say something. No, actually, what I'd like to say is I am so pleased with all you guys for all you're doing. And hit the penny jar if you can. Throw $5 in, throw $10 in, whatever you can. It all adds up. And we're going to have one hell of a good time there. And we're going to make an impression on these people. Okay, well,
Frank?
Yes.
Frank,
Yes.
this is Jaleesa. I just want to ask something. How are we on the transportation? Because I don't mind putting my 2 bits in,
Yeah.
to the pot. But how are we on transportation?
Transportation looks like, from what I've seen so far, is just about taking care of itself. Everybody seems to be getting together instinctively and finding ways to get there, which is the way it usually goes. But if there's money for a bus going up I-95, we can put it out. We got to find out where. But what we're going to do is find out here by Monday or Tuesday who's lacking a ride. And then we'll work on those people. In the meantime, we're going to work on Washington, and we're going to work on talking to Massey Ferguson, and I'm going to go out to my next part of the spectrum of people to contact. And the nucleus, I think we've taken care of. Now I'm just spreading out and to see who would like to come from another band of people. But Melinda Kidder will be one of those, and Dr. Staninger.
Well, I'm coming from Kentucky, so I was just wondering if people wanted to group together. You see what I'm saying? Because I know that you were asking for, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Go ahead.
So you were asking for people's address, their city and state,
Right.
as well as their email address and, the contact information.
Right.
So I'll be coming from Kentucky if someone wanted to group together from here.
Okay.
Or any place
That's
surrounding Kentucky.
The people that I text to, those particular invitations will be going out tomorrow. And Kentucky, I'm not sure what route. Would that be like Route 84 or something like that? Or am
I think you mean like the 71 or 65.
Okay. Yeah, more west. Okay. Well, I'll get a map out and see who's where. We got to start putting dots out, I guess.
Okay.
How many people do you have coming?
At a glance, I'm looking way over 150 thereabouts. That's at a glance.
Kidding.
No.
Wow.
No, we're going big time this time.
You're impressive.
Oh, thank you so much. You know who does it? You guys do it. You guys are doing it. We're just getting together here and talking. But we've got people like Mike, we've got Linda, we've got Kate Ryan, we've got so many wonderful people. Karen Stewart, Ella Free, the list goes on. Now we may have another special guest coming. So it's all, like I say, it's all working out exactly the way I planned. It's even coming out, from what I can see, a little ahead of schedule. So it's even better. but hurry anyway. But we still have,
May I say something real quick? This is Kim. I was going to point out to people. I have a contact list. I don't know who else is speaking right now, but I have a contact list of TIs. And for anyone who would like to get in touch with other TIs in their area, and you could also use it for people who are going to Washington D.C. And if you need a ride to find a carpool, you can use my number for that as well, because I have a pretty big contact list so far, and it's growing. I hear another voice on the call, but if you guys can hear me, you can call me to either get in touch with other TIs for support, hopefully for activism, or to find a ride to go to Washington, D.C. I can put you in contact with people in your area or people who might be near your area to get a ride there. So I just want to put out my phone number. You hear a lot of background noise, but my name is Kim, and my phone number is 707-350-1784.
Kim, I can't hear you. It's the echo. I think it's the echo.
I hear a lot of noise. Okay, my name is Kim, and my phone number is 707-350-1784. So anyone can call me if you're looking for a ride to Washington, D.C. If you want to get in touch with other TIs in your area for support or activism, just please leave a voice message or a text message so I know it's not a fake call, and I'll get right back to you. So that might work to help people get rides to Washington, D.C. as well.
yeah, Kim's been working very hard for a long, long time. She's not new to the fight. She might be new to this group, but she knows the fight. And she's definitely a very good organizer. She's thrown a lot of things my way that I hadn't thought of. And that's a tough one sometimes. But folks, I'm going to suggest that we head over to Linda's. I'm going to try and have, instead of going all the way to next Friday, I'm going to see if we can find a time slot before Friday. So be watching. I'll call you all or text you all, let you know. All right, because we have too many things to discuss to wait till next Friday. Agreed?
Agreed.
Okay. All right, everybody. Let's give Linda the respect she deserves, and I promise that we'd go over in there, and it's a wonderful call. And I want to say good night and God bless. God bless every one of you for all that you do, all that you have helped, and all that you will help. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Frank, for everything you
Good
do.
night.
Thank
We'll
you,
see you
everyone.
later.
Does everyone have Linda's PIN number? Should I give it out in case anyone doesn't have it?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay. For anyone who doesn't have Linda's call that's going on right now, it's the regular TalkShoe number, which is 724-444-7444, and the PIN number is 140091. Is that right? I think I got it right. Or call ID number.
That's correct.
Yes, sorry. 140091 is the call ID number, and then you press the pound sign right after, and the PIN number is £1.
Okay, before everybody goes,
Thank you, Frank.
I would like you to weigh in on this venue that I'm using. Is this venue convenient for you? Is the sound good? Do you enjoy it? Do you like TalkShoe better? Do you like free conference call better? Let me know. What do you think?
I think it's been good for the most part up until just a little bit ago. There's a little bit of noise that could be coming from someone's phone.
Okay, because it doesn't, I want, the reason I got the service is because it's supposed to be the best. So if it's not working out, I want to know it because we'll find something else. Okay, guys?
Thank you, Frank, California.
Okay. If you guys want to stay here and chat, that's fine. I have to go over to talk shoe to Linda's call, but we still have quite a number of people here. Okay, dropping off. Okay, love to you all. God bless. And we'll see you at Linda's. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Frank.
Night.
Thank you, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
Night. See you over
Good
there.
night. Okay, good night. Thank you.
Thank you.